What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Forspoken, specifically the new gameplay that was revealed today. Now, there was quite a bit in there's a 10-minute video. I believe IGN was the one who posted it, and there are definitely some weaknesses here, but I really want to focus on the strengths and have this video be focused on, what I'm excited about in this video, which was the gameplay. So, the voice acting was kind of spotty. There were some visual things. We can talk about that in other videos if you guys want me to, but I want to talk about how impressed I was, and I really was impressed by specifically the gameplay. To be honest with you, the gameplay is probably going to make or break this game, right? Maybe you can get over the dialogue, maybe the story's good, maybe it's not good, whatever it ends up being. But when you're in the world and you're getting from point A to point B, how you're moving, how you're traversing the world, how you're fighting enemies, what you're doing with that is going to be the second to second, things that you're doing in this game. And that I really do feel can carry it or completely sink it. And the good news is, it always seems to have been the game's strength, right? Even from the very beginning, it looked like, okay, this seems to be the main focus of the game, is kind of these elemental powers, and that seems to be the focus. And this gameplay video, or this gameplay walkthrough, whatever you want to call it, really, I think, shows it off. I honestly am very, very happy with what I saw in terms of her movement. I think her movement looks awesome. I think getting, again, from point A to point B, you see her doing a lot of flips, a lot of jumps. I'm really happy with that. Not just in, I guess, how she moves, and it seems like it's very, very fluid. And I do like that. I like games where the movement is very fluid, but also it just looks really cool. And then you get to the actual gameplay part, and again, this has always stood out. I am, I guess, or I was, maybe I still am, a little worried about, textures and pop-ins, and can, the game screen can your actual, I guess, console, or can the screen that you're looking at handle everything that's going on, because there's ice attacks, and then all of a sudden you're, swinging some sort of, almost like a Wonder Woman lasso made out of, elemental thing. You know what I mean? There's a lot going on in every single move that you make with the gameplay. You're constantly switching your weapons, I guess weapons, quote-unquote, because it's kind of just elemental powers, and can the game hold up? It seemed to in the video that you guys are probably watching right now. I like it quite a bit. I'm a huge fan. I know I've talked about this before. I'm a huge fan of water. I like to judge games almost solely on water. Me and Robert S. Pearson are quite alike in that way. And I love, let me just make one note, when she traps the enemies in that ball of water that's like Harry Potter when Dumbledore does that to Voldemort. I literally couldn't love that more. There's that ice attack. There's a ground attack where vines go through the ground and come up. Honestly, it looks really, really unique. It looks really, really cool. It would almost sell me. In fact, it kind of does sell me as of right now, just solely on that. It really does. In terms of when the game comes out, we'll have those discussions down the line in terms of my preview series I do on these things, but it's always looked like I was going to get this game, and it probably still is now, bearing something, tragic happening, because just the gameplay, I think, is very unique, very different. It's very visually, stylized. I really, really like how it looks, and it does look fun. That fluidness that she has when she's moving around, it still is there when you're in the gameplay, right? The kind of movement she makes, the kind of rolls and stuff, it's all still there. It looks like a lot of fun to actually play and experiment. I would imagine when you play it, you're probably not going to be swapping, because it seems like you can only have, maybe I'm just reading into it wrong. It seems like you can have 3 environmental powers, or elemental powers, all at once, and then you have the wheel that you can swap them mid-fight. So I think you have 3 mapped to your controls, but then you can do others. I'm not exactly sure, but like I said, I can't imagine you're gonna switch as much as you do. Yet again, I think to a Ghostwire Tokyo, you are switching quite a bit kind of on the fly. So even if you do, it still looks good. It looks good, and obviously for, I guess, showing off purposes, you want to switch a lot, right? A lot of that is kind of built up for us, for us watching, where it's well, we don't really need to switch powers 4 times, but we're gonna do it just to show the audience what you can actually do in this game. So there's nothing really I can read too much into that, because it very much could just be a show-offy thing. But I'm impressed. I really, really am. The rest of the stuff is still, you could definitely argue. I'm not here to argue with anybody, right? You can definitely have your own opinions on this game. I know the story doesn't seem all that great. The voice acting is very spotty, to put it nicely. But the one thing that's always stood out about this, and that stuff, by the way, can still be good. I'm not saying it's like guaranteed to be garbage. I don't really think any of it's complete garbage as it is. But when it comes to the strengths of this game, the strengths has always, I think, been the environment and how you get around the environment, right? That speed, the kind of like textures that are going on when you can ride water from one location to the next, like that. And then the fighting using these powers, that has seemed to always be this game's strength, and it still looks like it. In fact, it kind of looks better than ever. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, so you know when all these videos go up. If you want to follow or support me anywhere else, all my social media links are in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.